Breaking news now on 13 on your side.
Know that there's a family that's hurt, that's gonna miss this young man.
We begin at 5 o'clock with breaking news coverage of a police-involved shooting in Grand Rapids. Police held a news conference less than an hour ago and provided body camera video. The man shot by the officer last night is identified by his family as Daquan Johnson. He died at the hospital this morning. We have multiple crews following this story tonight with the reaction from family and witnesses. But we begin with 13 Your Side's Nick Nelson with what Police Chief Eric Winstrom had to say. Nick.
That's right. We just heard from Grand Rapids Police Chief Eric Winstrom, who showed body camera footage from the responding officers that shows what led up to the shooting death of Daquan Johnson last night. Now, here's a look at that video. In part of the video, you can see the man identified by family as Johnson being pursued by a police officer while on his bicycle. Around 9:30, Winstrom says the officers followed him into the parking lot of an apartment complex. According to the video, while being restrained by the officers and the K9, one officer says that Johnson is holding a gun. 3 shots can be heard from the officers, and Winstrom says he believes the man was struck in his chest. He died from his injuries early this morning.
There's a lot of inconsistencies or outright falsehoods being spread on social media, and tragically this young man last night involved in the shooting died. Very thankful that the officers involved were not hurt, but I know that this individual has loved ones and family members that cared about him.
Now, as per standard procedure, Michigan State Police is now in charge of the investigation. Reporting live, Nick Nelson, 13 on your side.
Nick, thank you. And the family of Daquan Johnson is sharing his story today and reacting to the way police handled the confrontation. We continue our live team coverage with 13 Your Side's Micah Cho. Micah.
Yeah, we're in front of Miss Tracy's liquor store, about half a mile away from where Daquan Johnson was shot. This is supposed to be the starting point of a march by his friends and family. It has not started yet. It was supposed to start around 5 o'clock, but we were able to catch up with some of them earlier today. This is what his aunt had to tell me.
We have a lot of different narratives that are going on as to what happened, but regardless of what happened, no one deserves to be handled like that.
Elizabeth Elliott describes her nephew as a father who loved to sing.
He loved to sing with anybody, and he could sing. He was a good dad. He took care of his kids.
Elliott says she wants to see the body cam footage of Wednesday night's shooting, adding that will be the only way they can get answers.
If we have him detained and he's already on the ground, why did it take him to have to shoot him? Why couldn't they tase him? Why couldn't they just get more people there? The dogs was already on him.
Kent County Commissioner Robert Womack says the officer-involved shooting happened in his district, and after talking with the family, he said he learned Johnson's kids watched what happened to their father.
His children also being in that apartment building, looking out the apartment building and watched the whole thing. They're calling their grandmother while this is going on. It's just a sad thing in this community, the trauma that those kids are going through. What do we have in place for those children?
Again, that march is supposed to start here at Miss Tracy's and go about a half mile to the apartment complex. For now, in Grand Rapids, I'm Micah Cho for 13 on your side.
All right, Micah, thank you. Witnesses to the shooting are talking about what they saw last night. Some of them spoke with us today, and 13 Your Side's Callie Lichter continues our team coverage with what they saw. Callie.
Elena, those witnesses say they are both scared and scarred about what they saw happen to their neighbor last night just feet from their apartment complex. Around 9:30 Wednesday night, the parking lot of Eastern Lofts Apartments in the Baxter neighborhood of Grand Rapids became a crime scene.
They had guns pointed or lights pointed, one of the two. I was kind of frantic, so I don't remember, but they had something pointed at him.
3 witnesses described shots being fired during an officer-involved shooting in their parking lot. Their neighbor, Daquan Johnson, is now dead after the altercation.
They were trying to detain him, and in the midst of that,
They told him to stop moving.
2 witnesses who asked to remain anonymous saw the events unfold from their windows, including the moments a Grand Rapids canine was sent to subdue Johnson.
One of them couldn't get the dog to detach from him, so they both just stepped around and told him to stop moving, stop screaming while the dog was still latched, and shot him.
But how could he stop moving with this dog maliciously attacking him? They told him stop moving. They said that 2 times. They said, you're going to get yourself shot, and they shot him.
Although Silas Dean didn't see the altercation between Johnson and GRPD, his car now holds the memory of last night.
Sad to hear somebody getting killed over here where we live and close to my car. It's not an enjoyable thought, you know. Someone dying right by your car, you know, getting shot and whatnot.
He was friendly with his neighbor and knows his family is mourning.
It's really sorry that it happened, and now the children's not going to have a father.
The shooting has left the neighbors on edge.
I already have anxiety. I was just coming from the hospital, so it wasn't what I was expecting at all. My stomach was in more knots than it was before.
I'm scared for my kids. It's troubling that the people who are supposed to serve and protect us is killing us.
Those witnesses did say that officers went to the building and talked to witnesses about what they saw happen in that parking lot, Elena.
All right, Kelly, thank you. And we will continue to cover this police-involved shooting as that investigation continues. So be sure to stay with 13 Your Side, both on air and on 13yourside.com.